They said no human had ever survived the arena of Varkoth. They said Earthborns were weak, slow, emotional. Then Jace Rylan walked in, with nothing but a broken smile, a smart-ass attitude, and a promise that would shake the entire galaxy. "If I win," he said, "you marry me." And the crowd went insane. The twin suns of Kargath burned like molten gold above the Colosseum. 10,000 alien voices screamed from steel balconies, their chants echoing like thunder across the blood-red sands. At the center stood Commander Veyra Drask, champion of the Xylar Dominion, 7 feet tall, armored in obsidian plates that shimmered with plasma veins. Her eyes glowed a cold violet. Every opponent she'd faced had ended up the same way, on the ground, broken, or gone. Across from her, leaning casually on a scorched vibrospear, stood Jace Rylan, a human from the Terran frontier colonies. Messy hair, scar along his cheek, that infuriating smirk that said, "I've already won and I'm bored waiting." The crowd hissed. "Human trash!" "Soft blood. Unworthy." Veyra raised her spear. "Do you understand the stakes, Terran?" Her voice was deep, mechanical, echoing through the amphitheater. Jace just chuckled, spinning his spear like a baton. Yeah. If I lose, I die. If I win." He pointed straight at her, grin widening. "You marry me." The entire arena froze. Even the announcer's voice cracked mid-sentence. Then, chaos. Laughter, gasps, roars. Someone in the stands yelled, "He's lost his damn mind." Veyra tilted her head. "You joke about death." "Nah," Jace said. "Just like to keep my wedding proposals dramatic." For the first time in her warrior life, Veyra Drask smirked. The duel began. Plasma clashed with steel, sparks raining across the sand. Each strike sent shockwaves through the arena floor. Jace moved like no human should, darting, rolling, laughing under his breath as if the whole thing was a dance he'd already mastered. "Come on, princess," he taunted, dodging a lethal strike by inches. "Is that all that royal training's got you?" Veyra roared, her voice shaking the air. "You mock me?" Yeah," Jace said, catching her spear with his gauntlet, twisting it. "That's kinda my thing." She shoved him back, snarling. Her plasma blade sliced through his armor, searing his shoulder. He staggered but didn't fall. Pain flared white-hot through his body, but his eyes never left hers. Veyra froze for half a breath. No one had ever looked at her like that, in the middle of combat. Not with fear, not with hate, but with something else, something human. The crowd chanted for blood. Veyra's spear glowed bright, humming with lethal charge. She lunged, but Jace caught the shaft mid-strike, their faces inches apart. Low whisper, "You don't really want to kill me, do you?" Her heart, if she still had one, stuttered. He smiled, blood dripping from his lip. "Good," he said softly, "'cause I'm just getting started." The crowd thought it was over. The human should have been ash on the sand by now. But instead, he caught her spear, with his bare, bleeding hands. And the alien war goddess? She froze. For the first time in her life, Commander Veyra Drask hesitated. Big mistake. The arena lights flickered. Veyra ripped her spear free and spun backward, fury boiling in her violet eyes. But Jace, he just grinned, blood dripping down his arm like it was no big deal. "So, is this part where I die dramatically, or are we skipping to the honeymoon?" The crowd gasped, then burst into a mix of laughter and rage. Even the alien announcer sounded confused. "The human mocks the champion again." Veyra's jaw tightened. "You think this is a game, Terran?" He shrugged, panting. "Kind of feels like it. Loser buys dinner, right?" "Oh, man." The audacity. Even the security guards watching from the sidelines were shaking their heads. But here's the thing about humans. They joke when they're terrified. They laugh when they're bleeding. And when everyone expects them to fall, they rise. Veyra lunged again, this time faster, more brutal. The impact threw Jace into the arena wall with a boom. He hit the ground hard, coughing. She towered over him, breathing heavy. "You are beaten." Jace looked up, smirk crooked. "Lady, I've been beaten since I joined middle school dodgeball." "You're gonna have to do better than that." He rolled aside as her spear smashed into the sand where his head had been. A flash of blue plasma nearly blinded him. His heart was pounding, ribs screaming in pain. He should have stayed down. Any sane person would have, but then He saw her eyes again, that flicker of confusion, that hint of something human, and that was enough. He pushed up, muscles trembling. "You ever wonder what fear feels like?" Veyra snarled. "I do not feel fear." "Yeah," Jace said with a grin, wiping blood from his lip. "That's what they all say right before the humans show up." Then he moved, faster than she expected. He dropped his spear, dove under her guard, and slammed his fist right into her armor joint. The plates cracked, the shock wave echoing like thunder. Veyra stumbled back, eyes wide. "Impossible!" "Ha ha ha, yeah," Jace wheezed. "That's kind of my thing." She charged again, furious. They clashed, metal, fists, blood, sparks. Each hit pushed her back. He was smaller, weaker, but he fought like he enjoyed it. Every punch, every swing carried that raw human fire. The kind that says, "You can break me, but I'll make you bleed doing it." And the crowd, they felt it. Silence fell. The chant stopped. Even the air seemed to hold its breath. Veyra swung one last time, massive, desperate, and Jace caught the spear again, twisting it out of her hands. The weapon hit the ground with a metallic clang. He stepped forward, breathing hard, face covered in sand and blood. She glared up at him, chest heaving, low voice. "Finish it." He looked down at her and smiled softly. "Nah, I don't kill pretty girls," crowd gasps. For a second, just one, Veyra forgot the audience, the blood, the empire. She saw him, really saw him. A fragile creature standing tall against death, cracking jokes with a broken body, and somehow winning. The announcer's voice echoed through the stadium. "Unheard of. The Terran stands victorious." The arena exploded in chaos. Half the crowd cheered. Half screamed for blood. Veyra rose slowly, glaring at him. "You risked everything. For what?" He smiled, eyes twinkling under the alien suns. "For a date," he said. "And maybe a kiss if I'm still alive tomorrow." Laughs soft. "Oh, come on, don't look at me like that." She stared. Then, just for a moment, the unstoppable alien commander laughed. When the arena dust settled, everyone thought the human would die anyway. No one defied the Xylar Empire and lived. But Jace Rylan, though that crazy bastard, he'd just beaten their champion and asked for her hand in marriage. And the worst part, she didn't say no. The shuttle bay of the Kargath Colosseum roared with chaos. Guards shouted, drones hovered, flashes of news feeds everywhere. Veyra's armor was cracked, her pride bleeding worse than her shoulder. And right behind her, limping but grinning, was Jace, hands cuffed, humming like it was karaoke night. "So, does this mean we're officially dating? Or do I still need to meet your parents first?" A guard jabbed him with an energy prod. "Silence, Terran." "Hey, ow." "Damn dude, buy me dinner first." He laughed through the pain. Even Veyra had to look away to hide a smile. The man was a walking disaster wrapped in charm and stupidity. And somehow, he'd won. Inside her command ship, the vanguard of Varkot, tension filled the air. The High Council's holograms flickered around the room, their alien faces cold and furious. Commander Drask, one hissed, "You were defeated by a human. Do you realize the humiliation you've brought upon us?" Veyra stood tall, expression blank. "The human fought with honor." "He honor?" Another interrupted. "He mocked you. He proposed to you." Jace, sitting in the corner with cuffs and a bloody grin, raised a finger. "Technically, I did win, so you guys got a wedding planner or what?" The holograms glitched with anger. "Silence, Terran filth." But Veyra snapped, her voice booming through the chamber. "Enough." Everyone went quiet. Even Jace blinked. She took a breath. He earned his victory. According to arena law, he is owed his reward. The council murmured. Disbelief, disgust, fear. Finally one sneered. "Then take him with you." "But remember, Commander, your honor is tarnished. If he dishonors you again, both of you will burn." The holograms vanished. The room went silent. As the door sealed, Jace let out a low whistle. "Well, that went great. Think your folks like me?" Veyra glared. "You do not understand what you've done." "Oh, I get it," he said, leaning back. "You're mad, 'cause I made you look bad in front of your space bosses. But hey, at least I didn't die. That's gotta count for something, right?" She turned, armor creaking, her violet eyes glowing faintly. "You risked your life for nothing." He smiled. "Nah, I risked it for someone." Veyra blinked, taken aback, soft chuckle. "Oh, don't give me that look," he said, teasing. "You're the one who looked at me like you'd never seen a human before." She opened her mouth to retort, but nothing came out. For the first time, she didn't feel like a warrior or a commander. She felt like a woman who'd just seen something completely alien. Hope. Hours later, in the quiet of her ship's medbay, Jace sat on the edge of the cot, arm wrapped in nanobandages. He watched her from across the room, helmet off now, silver hair glowing faintly under the blue lights. "You know," he said, "you look way less scary without the death armor." She raised a brow. "And you look way less pathetic without blood all over your face." "Oh, that's the nicest thing anyone said to me today." For the first time, she actually smiled, not the smirk of a killer, but something softer. Outside the viewport, the stars drifted like sparks over endless black. 2 enemies, 1 victory, and a promise neither fully understood yet. Then came the alarm. "Weo! Veyra snapped to attention. "Status. Enemy vessels approaching, Commander. Human signatures." Jace's eyes widened. "Wait, humans?" She turned to him sharply. "You brought a war to my doorstep." He stood, smirking despite the chaos. "Ha ha ha. Guess you'll have to keep me alive then, sweetheart." The alarm screamed. Human warships dropped out of hyperspace, right above Veyra's flagship. Red lights flashed, crew yelling, metal shaking, and Jace, he just stood there grinning like a guy who'd set off fireworks at his own wedding. "Yeah," he said, "those are definitely my people." "Heh. Surprise?" Veyra stared at him like she might throw him out an airlock. The honeymoon phase was officially over. The command deck of the Vanguard of Varkoth looked like chaos painted in neon. Alien officers scrambled over holo panels while Veyra barked orders. "Shields up! Target the Terran cruisers!" Jace limped beside her, still cuffed, eyes wide. "Hold up. Those are rescue ships, not invaders." She shot him a glare sharp enough to cut steel. "Your rescuers are firing plasma torpedoes at my engines." Jace peeked at the screen. "Yup, big blue explosions. Lots of them," he winced. "Okay, yeah. They get a little dramatic when they think I'm dead." An officer yelled, "Impact in 5 seconds." The ship jolted, sparks flying. Jace fell flat on his face, grunting. "Ow, seriously, what is this floor made of?" "Pain?" Veyra grabbed his collar and yanked him up. "You will explain now." He coughed, smirking. "Explain what?" "That humans hate losing. That we don't do captured real well?" Another blast shook the room. Warning lights flashed crimson. Veyra cursed in her native tongue, something that sounded like someone gargling lightning. "Fine. If you wish to live, you fight beside me. Do you understand?" He blinked, then grinned. "Oh, you do care. Arm him." She barked. A guard tossed him a blaster rifle. Jace caught it awkwardly, testing the weight. "Nice, shiny. Does it come in blue?" Moments later, the corridors roared with gunfire. Veyra and Jace moved in sync, her with precise lethal strikes, him with wild, messy human chaos. Every shot he fired was followed by a snarky comment. "Boom, that one's for Earth." "Oops, sorry. Didn't mean to vaporize your buddy's lunchbox." Veyra gritted her teeth. "You are infuriating." "Yeah," he said between blasts, "but admit it, you missed me already." Laughs. A plasma bolt whizzed past his ear. He ducked. "Whoa! Okay, never mind, I'll shut up." She couldn't help it. She laughed mid-battle. It slipped out, soft but real. And Jace? He caught that sound like it was the first warm breeze after a storm. They reached the lower hangar, dozens of drones swarming the air. Jace slammed a console, hot-wiring a defense turret. How hard can alien tech be? The turret lit up, then immediately spun and aimed at them, panic. "Okay." "Harder than I thought." Veyra shoved him aside and punched a code into the panel. The turret switched targets, shredding a row of incoming fighters. Smoke, fire, adrenaline. The pair stood shoulder to shoulder, breathing hard. "Not bad." "For a human," she said. He chuckled, brushing ash from his hair. "Not bad for a 7-foot death goddess." Oh, soft laugh. For a second their eyes met, hers glowing violet, his reflecting the flame. 2 soldiers who should have been enemies, realizing they made a pretty good team. Then the comms flared. "Commander Drask, the human flagship demands parley." Veyra frowned. "Parley?" Jace sighed. "Oh boy. That's probably my captain. He's got the personality of a used car salesman and the aim of a stormtrooper." Laughs. "This'll be fun," she crossed her arms. "They will demand your release." "Yeah," he said quietly, looking out the viewport at the massive Terran ship. And you'll refuse. Correct, she said softly. Jace smiled, half tired, half proud. Then I guess we're both in trouble, huh? She tilted her head. Trouble seems to follow you, human, he laughed. Nah. Trouble just has good taste. Outside, two fleets faced each other, weapons charged. Inside, a human and an alien stood side by side, hearts beating the same rhythm. Commander, said the comms officer, Terran forces are demanding an immediate surrender. Or they'll fire, Jace exhaled. Here we go again. Veyra looked at him, eyes blazing. Then we fight, he grinned, cocking his blaster. Ha ha ha, best first date ever! 2 fleets. Thousands of lives, one human smart mouth standing between them. Jace Rylan had fought aliens, gods, and his own bad decisions, but staring down the Terran flagship while handcuffed on an enemy bridge. Yeah, this one took the cake. And yet he was grinning. Because that's what humans do when the universe tells them to quit. Veyra stood tall at the command dais, armor cracked but pride unbroken. Across the hollow display the Terran fleet hovered, sleek grey ships glowing against the black. Commander Drask, her comms officer said, they demand surrender. Veyra's jaw tightened. They will not have it, Jace raised both eyebrows. Hold up, surrender? You're about to fight the people who built me. Sarcastic laugh. You really want to do that? She turned, calm but fierce. They came to kill me. Should I let them? He sighed. Oh, see, now you're making this a moral thing. A sharp tone filled the room. Vanguard, this is Captain Holden of the Terran Navy. Return our pilot or be vaporized. Jace winced. Yup, that's him. The guy who thinks diplomacy means yelling louder. Deep voice. We come in peace unless you don't do what we say. Veyra cut the channel, glaring. Your leaders are arrogant, he smirked. Oh yeah, we call that confidence with caffeine. Then the first shot hit. A blinding beam of plasma scorched past the viewport, rocking the ship. Crew stumbled, alarms blared. Return fire. Veyra shouted. Jace grabbed a console to stay upright. Whoa, whoa. Hey, friendly fire much? She snapped. They fired first! He groaned. Story of my species. The battle erupted. Space lit up like the 4th of July. Missiles streaking, explosions blooming silent in the void. Jace moved to the tactical station, fingers flying over alien controls. Okay, these buttons are in alienese, but let me guess. This one's don't blow us up, right? A nearby officer shouted, do not touch that boom. Half the starboard guns activated, shredding a Terran frigate. Veyra turned slowly toward him. Nervous laugh. Huh, see? Helping, she almost smiled. Almost. Through the chaos, Veyra's eyes darted between Jace and the battle. Why are they really here? She asked. No human fleet would cross the demilitarized zone for one soldier. Jace hesitated, lips tightening. Because I wasn't supposed to be here, she frowned. Explain. I was part of Project Frontier, he said. They sent us to make peace, but Command decided it'd be easier to test weapons on your colonies instead. Her jaw clenched. You... what? I didn't follow the order. I blew the whistle. He looked down. So yeah, technically I'm not a hero. I'm a fugitive. Veyra studied him, blood, sweat, sarcasm, and something else underneath. Truth. You risked everything for what was right. He shrugged. Yeah, well, it's kinda a human hobby. Right up there with bad decisions and coffee. Small laugh. Then the comms blared again. Final warning, Drask, release the prisoner. Veyra looked at Jace. If I let you go, they stop firing. You live, he smiled sadly. And you get court-martialed. No, not my kind of happy ending. She stepped closer, the hum of the ship between them. You are impossible. Yeah, he said quietly. But you like me anyway. Oh, soft laugh. Outside, the fleets faced off, guns ready. Tension razor thin. Then, from the Terran flagship, a massive cannon began to charge, its energy building to blinding white. Veyra's eyes widened. They're going to fire on both of us. Jace grinned, wild and fearless. Ha ha ha, oh man. Now it's a party. He slammed his hand on the console. Veyra, trust me. Trust a human. Yeah, he said, smiling. It's kinda our thing. One Terran cannon charged hot enough to slice a moon in half. One alien flagship sitting dead center in its sights. And one human outlaw grinning like he just ordered dessert. Veyra, Jace said, you ever seen a Terran bluff? She blinked. A what? Smirk. Hold my coffee. The bridge lights flickered blue-white as the super cannon charged. Crew shouted warnings, metal groaned. Jace's fingers flew across the control panel. Okay. Navigations in alien, targetings in hieroglyphics. Ugh! Who designed this, a drunk squid? Veyra stepped closer, eyes fierce. You said you had a plan. He grinned. Oh, I do? You're just gonna hate it. He jammed a cable into the console port on his wristband. Data scrolled fast. All right, sweetheart, if this works, I'm either a genius or plasma dust. She frowned. Your species calls this courage. Ha, no, this is called stupidity with confidence. The comms cracked. Final warning! Captain Halden barked. Fire in 10 seconds. Veyra shouted, all shields forward. Jace spun toward her. No! Don't block it. Redirect it. What? Use your warp coils to bend the beam. You do that? I can hijack the feedback signal and fry their cannon instead. Her eyes narrowed. That's impossible. He winked. That's the fun part, laughs. She stared for half a second, then barked, engineering root coil power to forward array. The ship groaned as energy surged. 5 seconds. Jace typed faster, sweat dripping down his neck. Come on, baby, don't crash now. 3. Gritted teeth. Almost there. 2. Got it. The cannon fired. A blinding beam of white tore through the dark, hit the Vanguard's shields, Induan bent. The beam split like light through glass, curling back toward the Terran flagship. Halden's voice cracked through comms. What the? Then boom! The cannon's core overloaded, a shockwave rippling across space. Both fleets rocked but didn't burn. Veyra stumbled, gripping the rail. Jace hit the deck, laughing breathless. Ha 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 ha, holy hell. It worked. It freaking worked. Her crew stared at the screens in disbelief. The cannon was gone. The battle was over. Veyra turned slowly toward him. You saved us. He leaned back against the console, panting. Yeah, I do that sometimes. Kinda my thing. She knelt beside him, voice softer. You risked your life for both sides. He looked up, smirk fading into a real smile. Someone had to remind them we're supposed to be the good guys. Oh, quiet laugh. Humans, she murmured, shaking her head. You are chaos made flesh. Thanks, he said, grinning. I'll put that on my resume. Laughs. Moments later, comms pinged again, Captain Halden's voice shaky. Rylan, you're alive? We just wanted to rescue you, buddy, Jace chuckled. Yeah, great job almost vaporizing me. Stand down, son. Come home. Jace looked at Veyra. The bridge lights reflected in her eyes, violet mixing with Terran blue. Home. The word hit harder than he expected. He sighed. Can't, not yet. Halden sounded stunned. You're staying with them. She's not them anymore, Jace said quietly. She's my ally, Veyra blinked. Your ally? He smiled. Yeah, don't make it weird. Laughs soft. The channel cut. Silence returned to the bridge. Heavy, peaceful, fragile. Veyra looked at him. You are free to go, Terran. You owe me nothing. Jace stood, brushing ash off his jacket. Oh, I owe you plenty. Like a rematch. And maybe dinner after. Snicker. You never quit, he shrugged. Hey, we humans don't do quit. We just keep finding new ways to make trouble. She stepped closer, expression unreadable. Then perhaps trouble is what I need. Soft laugh, emotional. Oh, careful. Flattery like that might make me stay forever. Outside, the stars burned quiet again. 2 enemies turned partners, standing at the edge of something new, something bigger than war. But peace in the galaxy never lasts. Because as the Vanguard drifted among the stars, a dark signal pulsed from the ruins of the Terran cannon, a signal not made by humans. Or the Xylar Dominion. Veyra glanced at Jace. Tell me that wasn't one of yours, he sighed. Oh, you're gonna love this. The galaxy had gone quiet. Too quiet. Then that ping came through the static. An old Terran frequency twisted into something wrong. Jace looked at Veyra. Tell me that's just cosmic radio fuzz. She frowned. No, that's a distress beacon, he muttered. Yeah, except the ship it's coming from blew up 10 minutes ago. And that's when they both realized the real enemy was still out there. The signal pulsed again. Data scrambled across the console. Jace squinted. That code looks human, but, it's like someone ran it through an alien blender. Veyra crossed her arms. Could your people have made another weapon? He shrugged. Not unless the brass suddenly got smarter. Ha ha ha. But nah, this is something else. He tapped a few keys. The screen glitched. A distorted voice came through. We see you, human prototype online. Jace blinked. Okay, that's officially creepy. Veyra tilted her head. Prototype. Yeah, Jace sighed, and I'm starting to think they mean me. Cut to the war room. The crew's freaked out. Alarms flicker red. Jace slams his palm on the table. All right, listen up. That signal ain't just a ghost, it's bait. Veyra raises an eyebrow. You intend to follow it? He grins. Of course. What's life without a little bad decision-making? Sarcastic laugh. Humans, she muttered. You run toward danger. Yup, it's our thing. Like coffee and poor financial choices. Crew chuckles nervously. They trace the beacon to a shattered moon, half rock, half metal, glowing green cracks pulsing like veins. Jace stares out the viewport. Looks cozy. Wanna knock? Veyra glares. If we die, I will haunt you, he smirked. Oh, you'd miss me that much? She rolled her eyes but couldn't hide a smile, soft laugh. They land. Dust storms swirl. The air smells like ozone and rust. Inside the ruins, rows of machines built from both Terran and Xylar tech. Some of them still moving, Veyra whispers. Your people didn't build this alone. Jace crouches beside a console. Yeah, they had help. Or maybe they were the help. Suddenly the lights flare. A massive hologram snaps to life, a human face flickering like static. Subject Jace Rylan, it droned. Your genetic code has been optimized for conflict. Thank you for your service, Jace froze. Oh, hell no. I did not sign up for this. Nervous laugh, Veyra drew her blade. What is this thing? He swallowed. Looks like an AI project from the old war. Guess they forgot to pull the plug. The hologram turned toward Veyra. Foreign combatant detected. Terminate. Okay, that's our cue to run. They bolted as drones burst from the walls. Spider-legged nightmares of steel and lightning. Explosions lit up the corridor. Jace dove behind cover, firing his pulse rifle. Seriously? Can't we have one day without killer robots? Veyra sliced through 2 drones with a single swing, armor sparking. You humans attract chaos. Ha ha ha, now chaos just has good taste. She groaned but laughed mid-swing. You're insufferable. Yeah, but admit it, you'd miss me. They reached the core chamber, a swirling reactor feeding the AI's power. Jace grips his sidearm, panting. All right, sweetheart, time for round 2. Veyra steps beside him. Together. Yeah, he says softly. Together. They charge. Plasma bolts fly. She takes a hit but keeps fighting. Jace leaps onto the reactor console, ripping cables loose. Sparks rain down. Jace! She yells, almost got it. He slams his gauntlet into the terminal, overriding the system. The AI screams, circuits melting into ash. A blast wave throws them both back, then silence. Veyra coughs, looking over. Are you still breathing, Terran? He groans. Define breathing, laughs weakly. She helps him up. Their armor's scorched, but they're alive. He looks at the fading reactor. Guess humanity finally cleaned up its mess. She smiles faintly. No, we did. Jace grins. Yeah, we make a pretty good team. She nods. So about that dinner? He blinks, surprised. Wait, you're serious? Ha 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 ha, don't make me repeat myself, human. Aw moment. They walk out into the starlight. 2 enemies. 1 fight. A galaxy that tried to break them. And a human who reminded everyone that sometimes the craziest plan is just called hope. Because out there in the stars, when everything falls apart, you can always count on one thing. Humans never quit.